Hello, everyone at Blaine. My name is Elizabeth Borick, and I'm a licensed professional counselor at Sage Therapy Chicago, which is a private practice located in the city. I am a therapist, and essentially what that means is I sit and talk with all people from all walks of life about their emotions and experiences to try to help them feel better, to try to help them feel happier. And so I'm going to talk today a little bit more about mental health and what that is. I'm going to answer some questions that you all sent in and just normalize mental health care and what that looks like for all of us so that we can get ourselves to a better place. So to start, I just like to normalize mental health by talking a little bit about our physical health. So when you trip and fall in the playground and break a bone, so let's say you break your arm, what would you do? Guessing most of y'all are saying you're thinking you go to the doctor, right? You go and you get that bone reset, you go and you get that cast put on so that you can feel better. Sometimes doctors will give you some medication to help with the pain. And so that's one instance where our physical health, obviously a broken bone is something we can see and feel, and so we want to go fix that up. What about a sore throat or stuffy nose or something that's going on that you're just not feeling good? You're not feeling like yourself. Maybe a fever. Most likely all of y'all are saying again, you go to the doctor, right? You go and you get medication. You go and talk to somebody about what's going on and what's wrong so that we can get it fixed and better. But what about illnesses that we really can't see, that we don't notice by like blowing our noses a bunch or a broken bone that's hurting us? Like, what about mental illnesses, mental health issues? So the definition of mental health in the first place is the way we think and feel about ourselves, as well as the world around us, as well as how it affects how we cope with life's stressors or life's challenges. So essentially, what that means is our mental health is what we think about ourselves and what we think about the world around us. What do we think about school, about our friends, about our parents or caretakers, what we think about our teachers, our schoolwork, things like that, but also how it affects how we show up in life. So, how are you sitting in the classroom right now? How you're watching this video? If your mental health is not doing super great, you might not be paying attention to this video right now. Or it might be really hard to pay attention to this video and you might be thinking, wow, I really need to hear this. It might be showing up with friends and not feeling seen. You might feel really alone, even though you're in a room full of crowded people. It might be feeling really, really sad all the time or really, really worried all the time and not really knowing why. What do we do about that? And it's actually a lot more common than we think, with 1 in 4 people in their lifetime, so throughout their whole lives, will experience some type of mental health issue. And the other 3 people that might not directly experience it will have a friend or family member who experiences mental health. So what that means is 4 out of 4 people will experience it all in their lifetime, which means every single one of us will have to deal or manage with something regarding mental health in their lifetime. So, why is it so big of a deal when we think about trying to manage mental health? Why is it so like, don't talk about it, hush taboo? Or maybe something you haven't even heard of before, and you're like, what is mental health? I'm here to normalize it a little bit more and talk about this so that we can get people the help that they need, including y'all, or including family members or friends. And so I like to kind of describe mental health as a clock that's not working right. So if you take a look around your classroom right now, you'll probably see a clock hanging up on the wall or somewhere maybe on your teacher's desk. And what if that clock said right now that it was like 8:53 p.m.? It's not 8:53 p.m. You wouldn't be at school right now, right? And so the way that I am comparing this clock is to our brains. So if the clock is not telling us the right time, how are we supposed to go anywhere on time? How are we supposed to even know what time of the day it is or what we should be doing during that hour? And maybe something with the wiring in that clock is all messed up. Maybe something is just out of whack. We need to go in there and figure it out so that we can talk with someone to figure out how to fix our clock. So that's kind of comparable to what happens with mental health issues. So sometimes up in our brains, there's chemical imbalances. So our neurons, which are the things that fire to tell us like to move our hand up, or the words that we're saying or how we feel, can fire wrong. So they might not be doing their job the right way. And it's kind of important if we notice those things to go talk to somebody about it. So it's almost like those signals are being disrupted, both for the clock and for our brains. And some common ways that that can show up, especially with y'all in your age group, are depression and anxiety. So I'm sure maybe some of you have heard of those words before, and some of you might not have, and that's okay. So I'm going to go a little bit into what those mean. So depression is when someone feels really, really sad, like majority of the time, and can't shake it. Like they're not able to control how sad they're feeling, no matter how hard they try. Almost like when we break a bone, we can't just fix it with our mental brains. Like we can't fix it. We don't have superpowers to be able to do that. We'd have to go to the doctor. And so folks that might feel super, super sad and they can't control what's happening to them and they don't know how to make themselves happier again, also have to go to the doctor so that they can talk to somebody and figure out a solution. With anxiety, that's when someone worries a whole lot and can't control how much they're worrying, no matter, again, how hard they try to stop. This again results in somebody maybe needing to go to the doctor to talk through these things. And so there are a bunch of professionals out there that can help with mental health issues, depression and anxiety, or other ones that we might see that I'm not really going to touch on today's video, but there's a bunch of mental health care professionals out there who want to help you just like me. So obviously your doctor or your pediatrician can help recommend you to somebody that might be beneficial. But also there are therapists just like me, your school social worker who deals with these things on a daily basis as well can help point you in the right directions. But where do you go to even start? Especially when something like this, talking about these things can feel so, so scary. Well, there are a lot of people out there who want to help you, myself included, but who are right around the corner from you, which include your parents, your caretakers, your grandparents, older siblings, your teachers, obviously your school social worker, like I mentioned. And if you want to go ahead and strike up a conversation with them, if you're not feeling like yourself, I really encourage you to do it because they can point you in the right direction that can get you the best help that you might need. So, what might that look like? Even just scheduling a time with them to say, like, hey, can I talk to you 5 minutes after class? Or, hey, can I talk to you tomorrow before class? I have something going on and I really want to mention this to one of your teachers. Or heading over to the principal or school social worker's office after school. Or even at dinner with your parents or caretakers and saying, hey, like, I'm having a really hard time making friends at school and I'm feeling very alone right now. Can you guys help me figure this out? And most likely the answer is going to be yes, of course. Let's figure this out together. Because these people do truly love and care about you and want to see you be your best self. And sometimes that means going to a professional to get that help. Because just like with a broken bone, we can't fix it without knowing about it. So we have to figure it out and we got to talk about it together. So, speaking of which, y'all all entered in some lovely, lovely questions. And for the second part of this video, I'm going to talk through some of those and give y'all some answers on what might be helpful. I'm also going to provide your teachers with some information that they can pass out to you or provide to your parents or caretakers to go over with you at home that are just some resources or referrals for some of the stuff for mental health care that might help you feel better if you're not feeling your greatest or might be able to help you help a friend if they're not feeling their greatest. Okay, so now we're going to try to answer a lot of these questions that y'all sent in to me. Thank you for sending them in and providing me with some stuff that I get to answer for you all. So if I do not get to your question, I do apologize. I had a lot of them, but a lot of them also were very similar to each other, which might come with very similar recommendations. So I'm going to try to lump some together so that I can get to as many as I possibly can. Let's get started. So a handful of ones that actually touch on I statements, which I'll explain what those are in a second, were sometimes my friends exclude me. What do I do? My best friend is being mean to me. What can I do so they stop? What do I do when my brother is annoying me? So these are all really great questions. And so one of the things that I recommend with my clients to utilize to communicate your emotions or communicate your feelings is I statements. So what that might look like is, for example, with the sometimes my friends exclude me, saying, I feel very sad and very lonely when I feel left out, and I'm feeling really left out right now. Is there something that we can do to change that? Can I be included in this? When your best friend is being mean to you, what can you do so they stop? Maybe communicating, hey, I'm feeling really hurt when you use these words towards me. What can we do to change that? Is there a different way you could talk to me that might make me feel better? Because right now, the way you're talking to me is kind of mean. So what if your brother is annoying you, maybe saying something along the lines of like, hey, I'm feeling very overwhelmed right now and I need to take a break. Stuff like that. Then there was another question that talked about sometimes two people ask me to play different games and I don't want to say yes to someone and no to another. What should I do? That's really a great question. And so I wonder what it would look like for you to maybe include both people or both groups of people and communicating, playing together at the same time or playing together at separate times. So saying maybe to each person, like, I really want to play with you right now, and that sounds like a lot of fun. Can we do this all together? Or even communicating and saying, hey, I really want to do both of these things. Can I play with this one first for 10 minutes and then play with you guys the next 10 minutes? Something like that. So the next set of questions talks about talking to a trusted friend or adult. So kind of like what we were talking about beforehand for what to do if you're feeling very, very sad or very, very anxious. So some of these questions are, what do I do when I am nervous or scared? Someone in my class is mean to me and I'm afraid if I tell them, they'll be mean more and more. One person in my club is mean to the others and it's really sad because that person's bullying. So, what I would recommend in these situations is definitely talking to a trusted friend or an adult and talking about what you're feeling and kind of what's going on. So then that way they can step in if needed to talk through either helping mend the issue that might be happening with someone being mean to you, being able to kind of talk through that and stand up and advocate for yourself, things like that. So, talking to one of your best friends or talking to a teacher or one of your parents or caretakers would be what I would recommend. The next set of questions kind of revolves around different coping tools that we can utilize in these situations. So the questions that I got for this category were, I get nervous to talk in front of the class. What can I do to be less nervous? And sometimes someone makes me so angry, I feel like I will explode. How do I control it? Both of these are really, really great questions. And as a therapist, the first thing that comes to mind that I would recommend is talk about it. Talk about your feelings. What's making you so nervous to talk in front of the class? And I'm wondering if anybody else might be feeling the same way. And sometimes knowing that other people also feel nervous can help normalize that and make you feel a little bit better about talking in front of people. And same thing with anger. Sometimes talking to people makes me feel like I'm going to explode. And what can be really helpful is talking about that. What's making you so angry? What's got you so irritated about it? Is it like what they're saying to you or how they might be communicating it? But talking about your feelings with somebody that you love and trust can be a really, really great way to understand those feelings a little bit better so that you can deal with and manage them a lot easier. Another tool that I would recommend is box breathing or 4-4-6 breathing. So if y'all have never heard of this before, what box breathing is picture a cube. So thinking of a cube, one side breathing in for 4 seconds, one side holding for 4 seconds, one side breathing out for 4 seconds, and the other side holding again. So what that would look like is breathing in for 4, 3, 2, 1, hold for 4, 3, 2, 1, out for 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold again for 4, 3, 2, 1. So again, you breathe in for 4, you hold it at the top for 4, you breathe out for 4, and then you hold at the bottom for 4. So let's practice it together. So I want you all to sit tall up in your seats. If you need to stand, do what you need to do. And I want you to either close your eyes or focus on something in your classroom that you can just pay attention to, maybe like the clock, like mentioned earlier, or maybe just something on your desk. And so I want you to get ready to take a deep breath. Ready? And in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Out for 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Out for 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. One last time. In for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. And out for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. And feel free to resume your normal breathing pace. But taking in deep breaths and especially paying attention to taking those deep breaths can be very, very helpful in managing those emotions that might come on very, very strong, like anger or nervousness. So next time you get angry or next time you get nervous, maybe practice box breathing. The other one I mentioned was 4-4-6 breathing, and that's very similar, but there is no hold after you breathe out. So you would breathe in for 4, you would hold at the top for 4, and then you would breathe out for 6, and then you would start breathing in for 4 again, hold at the top for 4, and then out for 6. I won't make you practice that. You can practice it on your own. Another question that I got was, why does everyone seem so happy? So, this is a really great question. And oftentimes we perceive things to be a little bit different than they might actually be because feelings come and go. So, everyone might be seeming to be happy in those moments, and they truly might be. But everybody is not happy 100% of the time. That's not realistic. We have a lot of different emotions, like how I was mentioning nervousness and anger. We've also have fear and feeling scared about things or feeling lonely, like especially like with the questions earlier, if you're feeling excluded by your friends, that can feel very, very lonely and very sad. And so it might seem like people are happy all the time, but realistically, they're not. We all have so many different emotions, and happiness just might be the one that you might be seeing in that particular moment. And so if you feel like everybody is a lot happier all the time and you're not getting to that level, that might mean you want to come talk to somebody like a professional like me or one of your teachers or caretakers or friends just to kind of talk through your emotions a little bit more to understanding what might be going on for you. That marks the end of our question section. And I gave y'all obviously some psychoeducation about mental health and whatnot. Like I mentioned before, I'm providing some resources for your teachers to give out to you whenever, either if they're, however, they might be giving it out to you, or if it's going in an email to parents, whatever that might look like, just to give you all some more resources so that you can utilize those. But thank you so much for letting me take up a little bit of your time today. And I hope that you all have a fantastic summer. I know you're approaching the end of your school year. But if anything, please feel free to reach out to one of your teachers if you're needing to get in contact with me or if you're wanting to get in contact with some of those resources that I provided. But heck yeah, thank you for letting me be a part of your mental health day. I hope you all have a great rest of your days.